Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, doors just won't open? You work, you pray, and yet it feels like life keeps placing walls in front of you. It's as if every opportunity you chase slips just beyond your reach, leaving you exhausted and discouraged. Closed paths can make you wonder if you're doing something wrong or if you're destined to stay stuck where you are. But I want to remind you, God never abandons his children. Sometimes the things that feel like obstacles are just stepping stones to something greater. When life feels blocked, it's not a sign to give up. It's a moment to reach higher, to connect with God in a deeper way. Saint Michael the Archangel stands ready to help us in these moments, breaking down the barriers that don't belong and revealing the paths we are meant to walk. Michael's presence reminds us that no obstacle is too great, no door too heavy, and no circumstance too far gone for God's power to turn it around. Even when we can't see a way forward, heaven is already working behind the scenes. In this prayer, we are going to ask Saint Michael to fight on our behalf, removing everything that stands between us and the opportunities God has planned. We will also call on Jesus to walk beside us, giving us peace while we wait for those doors to open. Some paths are already shifting, even if you don't see it yet. Stay with me until the end of this prayer, because every word we speak is a step toward freedom. It's time to leave fear and frustration behind and step boldly into the life God has prepared for you. Sometimes it feels like every door stays shut no matter how hard you knock. These barriers can come from external challenges like financial stress, relationship breakdowns, or career roadblocks. But they can also hide deep within, fear, frustration, or even burnout that quietly builds over time. Recognizing the root of what's holding you back is the first step toward breakthrough. Without clarity, it's easy to waste energy fighting the wrong battles. These barriers are often deceptive, making you believe that you're stuck for good. You may start to think that every setback is a sign that things won't get better. But God's plan is always in motion, even when we can't see it. Some doors close because they weren't meant for you, and others remain shut only for a season, waiting for the right moment to open. Knowing when to push forward and when to wait in faith requires wisdom that comes from prayer and discernment. In Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 to 6, we're reminded to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. God already knows the way forward, even when the path feels blocked. Often, the obstacles we face are not walls but detours, guiding us towards something greater than we imagined. Recognizing the true nature of what stands in our way helps us realign with God's plan. Saint Michael the Archangel brings clarity in times of confusion. He doesn't just fight external battles, he also reveals the hidden barriers within us, helping us stop chasing the wrong paths and focus on the doors God intends to open. His light exposes anything that keeps us stuck, whether it's fear, frustration, or distractions disguised as opportunities. With Michael by your side, you can move forward with purpose, knowing that you are heading in the right direction. Prayer. Saint Michael, I ask for your guidance today. Shine your light on the barriers that have kept me stuck, both seen and unseen. Reveal the obstacles that stand in my way and help me understand whether they are challenges I must push through or signs that it's time to wait for God's perfect moment. Jesus, I surrender my path to you. Give me the wisdom to walk only where you lead and the patience to trust your timing. Clear away everything that is not from you, Lord, and show me the way forward. Fear and doubt are sneaky. They creep into your thoughts quietly, convincing you to stay where it feels safe. They whisper lies, telling you that you aren't good enough, that the risks are too high, or that failure is just around the corner. Maybe you've felt that hesitation before, standing at the edge of an opportunity, but held back by the fear of what might go wrong. Doubt, too, keeps you paralyzed, making you question whether you are on the right path at all. The truth is, fear often shows up when you're close to something important. It knows that if you move forward, you'll step into God's plan, so it tries to block your progress. But God hasn't called us to live in fear. As it says in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." Fear and doubt lose their grip when you replace them with faith in God's promises. Have you ever taken a step of faith and felt a flood of fear immediately afterward? That's how the enemy tries to stop you, by attacking your mind with worst-case scenarios and self-doubt. But each time you choose faith, fear loses a little more ground. Overcoming doubt isn't about eliminating fear completely. It's about taking action even when fear is present, knowing that God is with you through every step. St. Michael stands with you in these moments, shielding you from the lies of fear and doubt. His presence strengthens your heart, reminding you that God has equipped you for every challenge ahead. When fear says, "You can't," Michael's sword cuts through that lie, pointing you back to God's truth. With God, all things are possible. With Michael by your side, fear no longer has the power to hold you back. Prayer. Saint Michael, I ask for your strength as I stand at the edge of new opportunities. Help me break free from the fear and doubt that try to block my way. Jesus, fill me with your spirit of power, love, and self-discipline. When fear whispers lies, remind me of your promises. Give me the courage to take the next step, even when the path feels uncertain. With Michael guarding my heart and mind, I will move forward in faith, trusting that you are guiding every step. Sometimes it's not just fear within that holds us back. Opposition from the outside can feel just as overwhelming. Maybe it's a difficult boss, a strained relationship, or a situation that seems determined to block your progress. These external forces can leave you feeling powerless, like everything is working against you no matter how hard you try. It's easy to feel discouraged when people or circumstances seem to stand in the way of the life you know God is calling you to. The Bible reminds us that opposition is a part of the journey. In John chapter 16, verse 33, Jesus tells us, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." Even when the road is difficult, God's victory is already assured. The resistance you face isn't a sign that you are off track. It could be a sign that you're exactly where you need to be, and the enemy is trying to stop you from moving forward. Opposition can come in many forms: delays, unexpected challenges, or people who discourage you from following your calling. But external opposition only has as much power as you allow it to. When you stay grounded in God's promises, no obstacle can derail you. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow in faith, endurance, and trust. God uses these moments to strengthen you for the path ahead. Saint Michael is the warrior who breaks through opposition. He fights not only against spiritual darkness, but also against earthly forces that try to block the doors God is opening for you. When circumstances become overwhelming, Michael steps in, clearing the way so that nothing can stop God's plan from unfolding. With his sword cutting through every barrier, you are free to walk forward with confidence, knowing that no force on earth or in heaven can stand against you. Prayer. Saint Michael, fight for me when opposition rises against my progress. Stand between me and the forces, seen or unseen, that try to block my way. Jesus, I place my trust in you, knowing that no circumstance is greater than your power. Help me stay grounded in your promises, even when the road gets difficult. Give me the strength to persevere through every challenge, and remind me that you are always working for my good. With Michael leading the way, I will walk boldly into the future you have prepared for me. There's nothing harder than waiting, especially when you feel ready to move forward. When doors stay closed despite your prayers and best efforts, it's easy to feel frustrated and question what you're doing wrong. But sometimes, a closed door isn't a rejection, it's a delay designed by God. Not every opportunity that looks good is meant for you at that moment, and some blessings require preparation on your part before they can be fully received. God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with our plans. Waiting for the right path to open can make you feel restless, as if you're falling behind while life moves on without you. You might wonder, why isn't it happening yet? Or what more do I need to do? But seasons of waiting are often the spaces where God does his deepest work within us. Trusting God's timing isn't about passively sitting still, it's about staying faithful while you wait, knowing that every delay has a purpose. Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." This verse teaches us that part of trusting God is accepting that his ways are beyond our understanding. What seems like a delay to us is often God's way of preparing something better than we could imagine. Saint Michael helps us stay strong in moments of waiting. He stands by our side when impatience tries to creep in, reminding us that every part of God's plan is unfolding perfectly, even if we can't see it yet. Michael guards us from discouragement, giving us the perseverance to keep trusting and moving forward, even when the next step isn't clear. Prayer. Saint Michael, be with me as I wait on God's perfect timing. Stand guard over my heart and mind when impatience or frustration try to take hold. Jesus, I surrender my plans to you, knowing that your timing is always right. Give me the strength to remain faithful, even when the path feels unclear. Help me trust that every delay has a purpose, and that you are working behind the scenes for my good. With Michael's protection, I will rest in your peace and move forward when the time is right. Sometimes the delays we face aren't just a matter of timing. They're the result of spiritual interference. The enemy works to block the blessings God has planned for you by creating confusion, distractions, and discouragement. You may have noticed times when strange things happen out of nowhere, unexpected problems arise, or situations that once seemed smooth suddenly become complicated. These are signs of spiritual opposition, trying to prevent you from walking the path God has set before you. This kind of interference can feel overwhelming, especially when it seems like every step forward is met with resistance. But spiritual battles are part of the journey for those who walk with God. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 tells us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." Knowing that these forces are real helps us stand firm in faith, armed with God's promises. Spiritual interference tries to confuse you, making you question whether you're on the right path. It may show up as discouragement, sudden doubts, or distractions that steal your focus. But the good news is that these forces cannot withstand God's power. Through prayer and trust in him, the enemy's influence crumbles and the path becomes clear again. Each time you invite God's presence into your life, you weaken the interference and strengthen your spirit. Saint Michael is a powerful warrior in moments like these. He fights against the spiritual forces that try to block your progress, clearing the way so that nothing stands between you and God's plan. Michael's sword cuts through the confusion and distractions, helping you focus on the next step with clarity and faith. With him at your side, no interference can stop what God has already declared over your life. Prayer. Saint Michael, I call on you to fight against every spiritual force that tries to block my path. Clear away confusion, distractions, and discouragement, and help me stay focused on God's truth. Jesus, I trust you to guide my steps and protect me from anything that tries to stand in the way of your plan. Strengthen my spirit and help me recognize when interference is at work, so I can turn to you for peace. With Michael leading the way, I walk forward in faith, knowing that no power can stand against your will. As when one door closes, it's easy to feel as though the opportunity has passed for good. But God's plan is not limited to a single moment. He is always working to open new doors, even when it seems like the path is blocked. Some opportunities are hidden until we're ready to see them, while others are waiting for the perfect moment to unfold. The key to walking in God's favor is being open to these new paths, even when they look different from what you expected. New opportunities often come disguised as disruptions or changes. Maybe something you relied on fell apart, only for a better door to open later. In Isaiah chapter 43 verse 19, God reminds us, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" This verse teaches us that even when things seem uncertain, God is always working behind the scenes to create new beginnings. Our role is to stay alert and ready for those moments when the doors open. But stepping into new opportunities requires courage. Change is rarely easy, even when it brings good things. The temptation to cling to the familiar can keep you from walking through doors that God has opened. It takes faith to leave behind old habits, mindsets, or comfort zones and embrace the new things God is doing in your life. But with every step of obedience, you position yourself closer to His blessings. Saint Michael is there to guide you as these new paths begin to unfold. He clears away anything that would distract or delay you from stepping into the opportunities God has prepared. His presence gives you the boldness to move forward, even when you don't know what's on the other side of the door. With Michael by your side, you can walk confidently, knowing that every opportunity before you is part of God's plan. Prayer. Saint Michael, I ask you to help me see the new opportunities God is placing in my life. Open my eyes to the doors I haven't noticed yet, and give me the courage to walk through them without hesitation. Jesus, I trust you with my future. Lead me toward the opportunities that are in alignment with your will. Help me let go of anything that holds me back and embrace the new things you are doing. With Michael's strength and your guidance, I will walk boldly into every opportunity you place before me. Sometimes the greatest barriers aren't the ones in front of us, they're the ones inside us. Fear of failure, self-doubt, shame from past mistakes, or the need for control can quietly block the paths God wants us to walk. These inner obstacles are often harder to notice because they live in our thoughts, shaping the way we see ourselves and the opportunities before us. Have you ever hesitated to take a step forward? Not because the door was closed, but because you didn't believe you were ready or worthy. God's word reminds us that we are more than the mistakes we've made. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, it says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This verse teaches us that with Jesus by our side, no internal struggle, whether it's fear, insecurity, or regret, has the power to stop us. But overcoming these obstacles requires us to trust in God's truth more than the lies the enemy whispers in moments of doubt. Inner obstacles can feel like walls too tall to climb. Perhaps you've thought, what if I'm not good enough? What if I try and fail? These thoughts create invisible barriers that keep you stuck where you are, even though the path ahead is open. But God never intended for you to carry these burdens alone. When you surrender your fears and doubts to Him, He replaces them with peace and strength, giving you the courage to walk forward. Saint Michael helps remove these internal barriers, silencing the lies that tell you you're not enough. His presence surrounds your heart, guarding you from discouragement and reminding you that God's plan for you is good. With His guidance, you'll begin to recognize when these inner struggles are at work and shift your focus back to God's promises. As these obstacles fall away, you'll find yourself walking in freedom toward the opportunities waiting for you. Prayer. Saint Michael, I ask for your help in removing the obstacles within me that keep me from walking the path God has prepared. Guard my heart from self-doubt, fear, and shame, and remind me that through Christ I am enough. Jesus, I surrender every inner struggle to you. Fill me with your peace and strength. Help me trust that your power is greater than my weaknesses, and guide me to take the steps I've been too afraid to take. With Michael's protection, I will overcome every obstacle within and walk boldly toward the future you have planned for me. Walking the path God has set before you isn't always easy. Even when the doors begin to open, the journey can feel long, with unexpected twists and challenges along the way. It's easy to become frustrated when things don't unfold as quickly as you hoped. But peace isn't something you have to wait for. It's something you can carry with you through every part of the process. The peace God offers isn't dependent on smooth circumstances. It is a gift that sustains you even when life feels chaotic. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 7, it says, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This peace isn't the kind the world offers. It's deeper, steadier, and constant, even when everything around you feels uncertain. But finding peace requires you to stay connected to God through prayer and trust. It's about shifting your focus from the obstacles in front of you to the one who walks beside you. Have you ever found yourself rushing to the next step, hoping that the destination will finally bring peace? It's easy to believe that peace comes once everything falls into place. But God's peace is available to you right now, no matter what part of the journey you're on. Learning to rest in His presence, right where you are, will give you the strength to persevere, even through the hardest moments. St. Michael helps guard this peace, protecting you from the distractions and worries that try to pull you off course. When anxiety creeps in, telling you that things aren't moving fast enough, Michael's presence reminds you to be still and trust that God's timing is perfect. With His help, you'll learn to walk with peace, not as a destination, but as a way of life. Prayer. Saint Michael, I ask for your protection over my heart and mind as I walk the path before me. Help me release the need to rush and trust that God's timing is perfect. Jesus, fill me with your peace, the peace that goes beyond understanding, and help me carry it with me through every part of this journey. Guard me from the distractions that try to steal my focus, and remind me that your presence is all I need. With Michael by my side, I will walk in peace, no matter what challenges come my way. Sometimes, the hardest doors to open are the ones we aren't meant to walk through. It's easy to pursue opportunities that look good from the outside, only to find ourselves frustrated when they don't work out. But God's plan is always better than anything we could imagine. Learning to align our will with His takes trust. It requires us to release our need for control and believe that God knows what is best for us, even when His plan looks different from ours. In Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 to 6, we're reminded, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This verse challenges us to let go of the desire to figure everything out on our own. Aligning with God's will means surrendering the plans we've made and asking Him to guide us toward what He knows is right for us. It can be hard to release control, especially when you've invested time and effort into a path that seemed right. But trusting God means believing that His way is always higher, even when you don't understand it in the moment. Each time you surrender your plans to Him, you take a step closer to the path He has prepared, a path that is filled with blessings and purpose. Saint Michael helps us align with God's will by giving us the courage to let go of what no longer serves us. His presence strengthens our faith, helping us trust that the doors God closes are just as important as the ones He opens. With Michael by our side, we can release the paths that weren't meant for us and walk confidently toward the ones that are. Prayer. Saint Michael, I ask for your guidance as I align my will with God's plan. Help me release the paths that are not meant for me and trust that God's way is always best. Jesus, I surrender every plan, every dream, and every desire into your hands. Lead me toward what you have prepared for me. Strengthen my faith when I struggle to let go, and remind me that your plan is always for my good. With Michael's help, I will walk the path you have chosen with confidence and peace. Once God opens the door, the final challenge is walking through it. Opportunities don't always arrive wrapped in comfort. They often come with uncertainty and the need for courage. It's natural to feel hesitation when facing something new. Even when the path is clear, doubt can creep in, making you wonder if you're truly ready. But faith isn't about waiting to feel ready. It's about trusting that God's presence goes before you and stepping into the unknown with boldness. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9 encourages us with these words: "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." This reminder shows us that fear is not a sign to stop, but a signal to trust God even more. Boldness comes not from the absence of fear, but from knowing that God walks beside you, guiding your every step. Each time you move forward, even in uncertainty, you deepen your faith and strengthen your spirit. New paths often stretch us, calling us to step beyond what is familiar. Maybe you've been waiting for a breakthrough, but feel overwhelmed by the idea of what happens next. It's okay to feel nervous. That's part of the process. But the same God who opened the door will give you the strength to walk through it. Every step forward is an act of faith, an agreement that God's plan is good and His promises are true. Saint Michael the Archangel gives us the courage we need to move boldly into new opportunities. His sword cuts through hesitation, doubt, and fear, making way for the confidence we need to embrace the future God has prepared. With Michael leading the way, you can step forward without hesitation, knowing that no enemy, spiritual or physical, can block the path God has opened for you. Prayer. Saint Michael, I ask for your strength as I step into the new paths God has opened before me. Guard me from fear and hesitation and fill my heart with boldness. Jesus, I trust you with every step. Lead me through the doors you have opened and give me the courage to move forward even when I feel unsure. Help me walk in faith, knowing that you are with me wherever I go. With Michael by my side, I will embrace every new opportunity, confident that your plan is unfolding perfectly. This journey of prayer has been about more than just opening doors. It's been about learning to trust God in every part of the process. Every step you take with Him, whether waiting in patience or moving boldly through new opportunities, brings you closer to the life He has planned. With Saint Michael fighting for you and Jesus walking beside you, no obstacle can block your progress. Closed paths cannot remain closed when God declares them open. The challenges you face along the way are not signs of failure. They are moments of preparation, strengthening you for the blessings ahead. God's timing is perfect, and every delay has a purpose. When a door opens, it won't just be by chance. It will be by God's design at exactly the right moment. Walking in faith means trusting that each step, even the difficult ones, is leading you closer to the purpose God has for your life. Whenever fear, doubt, or obstacles arise, remember that you are not alone. Saint Michael stands ready to defend you, ensuring that nothing can block the way forward, and Jesus walks with you, offering peace that surpasses understanding, even when the road feels uncertain. Each door that opens is an invitation to step deeper into God's love, peace, and purpose. As we end this prayer, take a moment to reflect on the areas of your life where you felt stuck. What doors are you waiting for God to open? What fears or doubts do you need to release? Place those burdens into God's hands, trusting that the path ahead is already prepared. With Saint Michael leading the way and Jesus guiding your heart, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that the future God has for you is good. Final prayer. Jesus, thank you for walking with me through every challenge and every closed door. I place my fears, doubts, and plans into your hands, trusting that you are guiding me toward the paths you have prepared. Saint Michael, Continue to stand by my side. Remove every obstacle and protect me from anything that tries to block my way. Help me walk in faith, knowing that your plan is unfolding perfectly. I step into the future with peace, courage, and trust, knowing that with you, all things are possible.